At the end of Montreal, Lestat and Louis sit on a park bench together after a night that has included a sex tape, a blood vomiting panic attack, and a seance in which the ghost of their dead daughter called them both dumb bitches and announced she hated Louis more than anything she had ever known. And then they imagine a possible future with a little trailer in the desert. And then Armand and Daniel behead them from behind. The penultimate episode of The Vampire Lestat is the best the season has produced, and it earns that distinction by returning to the thing that made this franchise extraordinary in the first place. Lestat and Louis together, occupying the same space, doing what they have always done, loving each other with the exhausted depth of people who have been at this for 100 years, and circling the fundamental question of what they are to each other with more honesty than either of them can usually manage. The band barely appears in the episode, the tour is on pause, and the show remembers what it is. The episode opens on Halloween in Montreal, with Lestat checking a devastating pitchfork review from inside his coffin, while preparing for the memorial concert that may very well summon Akasha and end civilization. Louis is in town, and he thinks the concert is a terrible idea, and their banter when they reunite has an unusual gentleness that Louis immediately identifies as ominous. "Why are you being so nice? I don't like it," he says. Lestat is dressed with characteristic self-awareness as the Grim Reaper, and they dodge trick-or-treaters, and somehow what follows is more frightening than anything else the season has shown us. What unspools from there is the episode's controlled detonation of accumulated secrets. The sex tape, revealing Gabriella's identity, lands on Louis' phone with the timing of a precision strike, and the scene that follows is the season's most extraordinary. Sam Reid and Jacob Anderson navigating a confrontation that involves blood vomit, genuine horror, and equally genuine tenderness. Lestat collapses into a panic attack, and ultimately Louis cries for him. He can see, in the way someone who has loved a person for a century can see, that Lestat has been victimized, that his impossible nature has impossible roots. He takes him to a bar and asks more gently, and Lestat says something that lands with the full weight of everything the season has been building toward. "Because, Louis, I am a monster," Lestat says, and he really believes it. And then there's the seance. Facilitated by Merrick Mayfair, establishing a crossover with Mayfair Witches, Claudia's ghost arrives as a cyclone of rage and pain. Delainey Hayles gives us the episode's other great performance, a genuinely chilling piece of acting that honors everything the show built around this character, by refusing to make any of it neat or consoling. She calls Louis and Lestat dumb bitches. She tells Louis he wasn't even her favorite. She reveals she framed Lestat on the train. She announces she's suffering in the underworld, still searching for Madeline. And she tells Louis that she hated him more than anything or anyone she had ever known. It's certainly a form of closure, if not the kind they expected, and it is one of the most genuinely affecting scenes this franchise has produced. And then, the park bench. The imagined future. A century of weariness and love in their eyes. And then Armand and Daniel step out of the Halloween dark and behead them both in a single swift motion. What it means, given what we know about vampire physiology, and given that Lestat's voice on the Failures recordings is already described this very night, is a question for the finale to answer. The season finale of The Vampire Lestat is next week, so let me know in the comments. Did Montreal hit you as hard as it hit me? And how do you think Lestat and Louis survived the beheading? And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Fandom Frontline so you don't miss our review of the entire season.